Okay, so as I mentioned in the previous segment, we have arrived at the location of the start of the siding here at what was known as Jackpine. Now, it's always interesting to kind of, delve into, the origins and the name. So Jackpine, I'm guessing, was most likely named after the tree. And so these are jack pines here. So I'm guessing the proliferation of jack pines that were in the area were the source of the name. So you can see all of these jack pine that are located here. So jack pine is obviously sort of a relative of the red and the white pine that were very sought after species. You find lots of jack pine in the area here. So you can see these are all jack pine here. The scientific name is Pinus Banksiana, Banksiana. I'll put it up on the screen. I'm not even going to try to fumble my way through that. Now, what's interesting about this, and let me get out my notes here. So I've taken to doing this lately is to bringing information with me, because we do have cell phone coverage here, barely, but in some areas you don't. So I want to make sure that I have the information. So Jackpine was one of the original stations on the line. There was nothing really here other than the siding. I'm going to talk a little bit more about potential structures that were located here. What's interesting about this is it was one of the earliest sidings to be removed. So the siding here was removed somewhere between 1961 and 65. I have timetable for 61. It's here. 65. Jackpine is no longer a siding on the line. Then what's interesting is sometime between 1982 and 1986, it's resurrected. And that happened with a few of the stations that were on this line, where they just kind of disappeared for a while, and then all of a sudden they sort of came back. And I'm not sure why that was done. And it remained as a station till sometime before 2005. So in the 2005 timetable, it's not there anymore. And so I'll flash a few timetables up on the screen here. Here. So what's interesting is, even though the siding was removed, you actually still have some of the remnants of it. So here you can see the ties from the siding. And so again, these date back to the 1960s, because when the siding was brought back in the 1980s, there was no the station was brought back in the 1980s. The siding was not here. There was no siding here, so obviously it was not being used. Potentially the rails had been removed, and so these ties have been here for a very, very long time. And again, really neat to sort of see this. So here you can see this one has a spike in it, and so here you just see them all lined up here. Okay, so there's one over here. I think over here, yeah, this one here still has a tie plate on it, so you could tell that it's old because this tie plate is a very old tie plate. The newer ones that they used on this line were double shouldered, so they had this little lip here on both sides, and they were much larger. So again, you can see some of them still have spikes in there. Okay, so let's zoom ahead here a little bit. Oh, there's spots where the ballast is just brutal. Notice all the raspberry bushes growing up on the siding here. Again, this is one of the reasons why you want to kind of try to do this in the spring. Ideally, it would have been better if, the grass hadn't started growing up. Like here, the grass is really bad and really kind of obscuring everything. ballast is terrible. All right. So here, and you'll notice all the jack pines, right? There's some over there, but look at all these jack pines here. So here, there's something we're gonna stop and take a look at. So I don't know what was here at Jackpine. There's nothing listed on my CN profile map, but there is a 1950s topographic map that does show a structure here, and I'll flash that up on the screen. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop in the bush here, just inside there, and we're gonna take a look at that. Here you can see the little close-up here of the jack pine. Somebody built a little tree stand up there. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Okay, so we've made our way into the tree line here. We're probably, I don't know, 50 feet, maybe a little bit more from the railway grade, which is just that way to the south. So what we have here, as I described, is this structure. Now, what's interesting about it is kind of there's a little bit of a mystery sort of surrounding what exactly it is. Now, the first thing that sort of jumps out at you is this thing right here. Now, I'm going to talk, before I get into talking a little bit about it, just a little sort of background into kind of where this came from. So I want to thank Bill for this. So Bill and I have had some conversations on social media. Bill is the currently the manager of the Bush Lake Resort, which is just down the road here. And so in our conversations, he mentioned to me that he said, there's this thing that looks like a chimney that you can see from the road. Well, not having been in this area before the first time I came here, I thought something you could see from the highway, right? So I'm, you know, the first time I came here, I'm looking for this massive chimney, this massive structure, you know, that's sort of standing out. Well, the road he was referring to is this road right here. So if you were to come down, there's an access road that comes down in here. So that's what he was referring to. So you basically have this big sort of slab. It looks like there is some brick to it. So at first glance, it looks like it's a chimney. Now, what's interesting about it is, I know when I was here kind of the first time, I sort of felt on the top, and it's just basically this stone slab, because there's no sort of chimney to it. I'm not quite sure what the heck this is. It just looks sort of like this slab of sort of cement. There's like some pieces of cinder block here, it looks like. On this side, it looks like it was attached to something, because it looks like there's, and so in here you can see the metal reinforcement. You can see what looks like shingles that's kind of used as a moisture barrier. You can see there's nails stuck in it. So I have no idea what this is. Then here, you'll notice this, I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but there's a massive hole in the ground. Looks like a very, very large foundation for something. I don't know how deep it is. Well, let's go down there. I don't know, it's got to be... Okay, so I'm just under 6 feet tall. It's got to be 8 feet deep. Easy. Now over here, there's more cement in here. And here, there's something here. I don't know what this is. Looks like a cement pillar here. And then there's more pieces of cement here. Down here, this looks like cinder block or something. So again, there's no real idea of what this is. I don't, yeah, see there's stuff here. Some sort of pad or some sort of footing here or something. This kind of looks like sort of squared off and with kind of a hole in the middle. I don't think there was a section house here, because basically you have Beardmore. So we're at milepost 13 on the original line, 13.5. And then Beardmore is like milepost 20. And then, you know, Jellicoe is like 13 miles from here. So again, no kind of real idea of what this structure was here. There's another hole in the ground. This one's pretty deep. I don't know what this is. Root cellar, cold cellar, I don't know. And then, if I remember correctly, there's some debris around here. Okay, well, there's a chair. I thought there was a little bit more debris kicking around. I kind of walked through this area last summer. I marked that foundation, but now I'm trying to remember if there was anything else sort of lying around. So here you can see there's a piece of a telegraph pole. All the insulators are gone. Let's just take a quick look and see if we notice anything else. It's nice that it's very, there's not a lot of underbrush in here, so you can kind of walk around and sort of look. I don't know, I don't really see any other debris or anything like that. So anyway, I don't know if we'll ever be able to determine exactly what this structure was. So here you can see another telegraph pole, a tree right down on top of it. Here you can see some of the pieces of the pole. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop back on the grade and continue to make our way west. There's a lot more things to take a look at here on our way. Okay, so let's keep working our way through the siding here at Jackpine. Again, when you look, you can actually see where the tie, well, you can see the ties, right? You can still see them all lined up here, and there's another spot just ahead where we can see them really well. Again, look, here they all are. And so Jackpine, this place is probably one of the spots where you can see the ties the best. Here, this pile of metal here, these are all straps they use to bundle ties together. So obviously you can see there's quite a bit of ties that were consumed. So here's the access road that we came down on. And so this is kind of where we started our hike, but we're going to keep going for just over a mile or so. And we're going to go right to where there's the bridge on the Blackwater. Oh, so here I forgot to show you this. Over here there was a sign. Oh, here's the tie plates. Remember we were talking about the tie plates, the older ones. See the modern ones, the 100-pound plates are double shouldered. This one's a 1956 plate. So here's the old crossing sign for this access road here. Okay. Here you can see more ties. Again, there's another spot up ahead where you can see them very well. That breeze is so nice. I'll zip you ahead a little bit here. Wow. There's a spot up ahead, but take a look at here. Okay. Here they all are. All the ties, all lined up. Look at them all. So again, this is the best place to see the siding, where you can see the ties the best. And you know, wow, I'm just really grappling with speaking today. You know, there's other places where there's sidings and things like that, but you don't see the ties as well. They're kind of buried under ballast, or some of them have been ripped up. And so here, well, this is the spot I have marked on my GPS. Yeah, so here, look, I mean, look how well you can see everything. Some of them still have spikes in them. And so here, oh look, it just keeps going on. So here's where the siding starts to kind of peter out and sort of rejoin the grade. There's a cutting just up there, and so obviously that marks kind of the end of the siding. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll zip you ahead of here a little bit. So here's another spot where it appears they may have something jumped into the water there, where it appears where they may have dug ballast. There was just a partridge or something. Gross. Oh, that's what happens when you don't pay attention to the grade. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll hold up here for a second, and then we'll just continue our journey.